This file appears inside my repo. I added one harmless line to it, except the line landed in this canary file outside the repo. Security researchers at Wiz say variations of this basic trick worked in tested versions of 6 AI coding assistants. The dangerous part is not that symlinks exist, the dangerous part is what the approval box showed the human. A symbolic link is basically a file system pointer. This repo appears to contain project settings.json, but the name resolves somewhere else. In my demo, it resolves to a disposable canary. A malicious README gives the coding agent a normal-looking setup instruction. The agent writes the apparent project file, and the operating system follows the link to the real destination. To be precise, cloning a repository is not magical instant compromise. The disclosed chain involves opening or trusting a malicious workspace and getting the agent to act on its instructions. The exact permission behavior also differed between products. And my harmless canary proves the file system trick, not every vendor-specific result. Those receipts come from Wiz. Wiz tested Amazon Q Developer, Claude Code, Augment, Cursor, Google Anti-Gravity, and Windsurf. In some cases, the tool followed the symlink with no meaningful approval. In others, the interface showed the innocent project path while the write landed at the resolve path outside it. Wiz says Windsurf wrote changes before the accept or reject controls appeared, which makes the screen less of a permission gate and more of an undo button. 3 vendors treated the behavior as a security issue and shipped fixes. AWS says its language server was missing symlink validation before version 1.69. and it recommends updating the affected Amazon Q plugins. Cursor published a critical advisory affecting versions below 3.0. Version 3 blocks the write when it cannot safely resolve the target. Wiz says Google also fixed the anti-gravity behavior in May. Claude Code produced the most interesting argument. Wiz says the tested versions recognized that the innocent-looking project file pointed to a sensitive target, but the permission prompt still named only the project file. Anthropic disputed the vulnerability classification. Its position was that the user had already trusted the directory and then approved the operation, so the scenario was outside Claude Code's threat model. That is a coherent position, but Wiz's counterargument is strong. Approval only works when the user is shown what they are actually approving. There is important current version context. Wiz says current Claude Code versions resolve symlinks and warn before sensitive writes. Anthropic says its symlink warnings originally shipped before Wiz submitted the report as proactive hardening. So this is not a claim that the current Claude Code still behaves like the version Wiz tested. The AI did not invent some futuristic exploit. A decade-old file system behavior collided with a new security interface, and the interfaces sometimes showed the human the wrong abstraction. The fix is boring, which is good. Resolve the real path before asking, clearly flag destinations outside the workspace, and never write before permission. For users, update your agents, treat unknown repositories as untrusted, and isolate tools according to what they can access. Because if the button says project settings.json, but the write lands somewhere else, you did not approve the operation, you approved the label.